It's time for Media Meltdowns, and we're in for an extravaganza of the most insane CNN coverage. Starting with the leftist network's coverage of accused murderer Luigi Mangione. CNN decided to feature woke journalist Taylor Lorenz, and she had this to say about the accused killer.
You're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
They're laughing as she calls him smart. It's pretty sick. She's talking about an accused killer who shot father of two, Brian Thompson, in the head. How people take this network seriously is beyond me. But here is CNN's Erin Burnett, rushing to suggest during a live broadcast that a shooter in Manhattan who killed 4 people, including a police officer, was possibly white.
Showing you here, John's reporting that they do know what he looks like. Male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe, to various locations, including upper floors, is where they're focused. What are you learning?
Yeah, he was not. And here is CNN's coverage of the anti-ICE riots in LA back in June. And just notice how they deliberately cut away from images of a car on fire so they can focus on this Democrat insisting that the protests were peaceful.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
Yeah, car was literally on fire. But there is, of course, one person on CNN with some common sense, and that, of course, is Scott Jennings. Here he is pointing out that people who say pregnant people instead of pregnant women might not be that credible. And, of course, that was enough for this lefty panel to go insane.
This is stuff that affects real people's lives. Vaccines,
We're in National Immunization Awareness
immunization.
I hear the criticism
from this person. I just have to say, he did use the term pregnant people in his resignation.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. If that is like the way you're presenting information, I have questions about your credibility.
Scott, it's so amazing.
It's not a ruse. He really wrote it down.
It's a ruse because people are dying.
This guy's not credible to me. That's all I'm telling you.
Scott, are you serious?
Joining us now is Michael Kroger, former Victorian Liberal Party president and Sky News contributor. Michael, thank you for joining us. I mean, just looking at CNN's coverage, we only played a handful of grabs there, but we could have kept going. There is plenty of content. And I suppose it really explains the huge drop in ratings over the past year.
They're like a boy band from the 1980s. I mean, it was good at the time. It was all fresh and clean and well-cut hair and, makeup and all that stuff. It was good whilst it lasted, but it's no longer relevant. I mean, CNN, 20 years out of date. They're still talking about the issues that were left behind a generation ago. I mean, well pre-Trump. So its ratings will continue to decline. No one much is watching. That Scott Jennings, every time he appears, he's become an international star, that bloke.
He has.
He appears at that freak show every week or so. And he looks normal, and then you've got these rabid, leftists who really just make fools of themselves. So, no, well done to him. Taylor Lorenz, for goodness sake, a young, woke, female left-wing activist praising this guy charged with murder. I mean, seriously, some of these people have become just freak shows of the left, and they're doing their long-term career untold damage because whilst they might be, funny or different for a short time, as time goes on, people think we can't have these extremists on our show. So she'll disappear from the global media in due course because these views are the views of nutters.
Yeah. Look, I want to talk to you about Daniel Andrews. Of course, former Labor premiers Daniel Andrews and Bob Carr have attended Beijing's Victory Day military parade. President Xi Jinping delivered a speech and was joined by North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin. I mean, Michael, I have to get your thoughts on this. We've heard from other Labor figures like former Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk. She's slamming this. Can I get your reaction?
Well, they shouldn't have gone. I mean, but I think the answer is that both Bob Carr and Daniel Andrews have got commercial interests in China. and they're furthering their own commercial interests. I mean, why else would you go to that to sit with that rogues gallery? Putin, Kim Jong-un, I mean, seriously, sitting with all these people? No, this is a bad decision by Andrews and Carr. I mean, Carr, you would expect, he turns up at any extremist gathering, you know, if he's got a time in his diary to fill in, he turns up at these extremist gatherings. But Daniel Andrews shouldn't be there. But as I said, I think it's more his commercial interests. But, you know, neither should be there. It brings great discredit on them. And by the way, it brings discredit on the Labor government here, because they could have bent their arms and stopped them from going, which they obviously didn't do.